That's it. That's the building where Jane Roberts channeled Seth. It's a famous building all the world over, and a lot of people who love the Seth material love that building. Right now it's in shabby shape, and we're wanting to help preserve it. But why don't we just show you where it happened, where Jane Roberts channeled Seth, and where these remarkable books were born, where the words that we read and appreciate were first spoken. It was first built in 1888 as a mansion, and then it was converted into apartments. But it was in the 1960s and 70s that things really got interesting. The second floor, from the fireplace to the left, is where Jane and Rob lived. That's their kitchen, those little 3 windows. And next, beautiful bay windows. That was Jane's writing area, and also the living room is behind that. And to the left of the bay windows is the bathroom, and those are like 3 really old windows that are preservable. That used to have a wraparound porch way back in the day. Bathroom, bedroom. That crappy little building over there on the left, to the left of the non-functional TV discs, was Rob's art studio. That whole art studio is hanging on 2 poles, and it's rotting. This house received many guests. Jim Henson was here, Richard Bach was here, Robert Monroe, famous for the out-of-body stuff, was here, and a lot of other people we'd call celebrities. But hundreds of people visited Jane and Rob over these years, and it changed their lives forever. And one of the things we're wanting to do is find some of those people who did meet Jane and Rob and Seth, and hear their stories. It's very important we find out what happened personally and how it affected their lives. You know, it's funny to juxtapose how amazing Seth was with a building that's rotting, but we can do that. And this building will be fixed, and we want to make it an open community center for people who like Seth. People like you, maybe. Like you, like me. There's a reason for this, folks. Today, in time and space, we're celebrating Jane Roberts' 90th birthday. She was born in 1929, May 8th, and she would have been 90 years old, and in a probable reality, well, yeah, she's 90. And we love her, and we're honoring her here at the Seth House. Yes, the front porch, and let's see, 458, 3 different styles of numbers. The trellis, beautiful, majestic, and rotting. The tree, everybody loves this tree. Jane loved this tree. Jane wrote poems for this tree, but it's so strong, it feels so good. Hi, nice seeing you here. You just walked in the front way of the entrance of the Seth House. Remember, it's an apartment building. There's 8 units in here. And you can see the majestic grace of the place, as well as the filth. Like, take a look at the door. This is original, beautiful. Jane and Rob touched this, but people in the 1800s touched it too. This is pink marble on the floor. It waxes up beautifully. But that mailbox is brass, been there a long time. Jane and Rob probably got their mail right there. Okay, so let's be brave and go up these stairs. The stairs are kind of squeaky and wobbly and broken, but here we go. I remember the first time I put my hand here and I thought, Jane Roberts touched this. And then I realized, so did a lot of other things. It was sticky. It is sticky. We don't need, again, it's about the material, not how we're fixing the place. This enough said. Up we go. Stairs, stairs, stairs. They're kind of worn and torn. Cheers, yeah. It's kind of a sticky, icky feeling. And a lot of these spindles need to be replaced. There's a hub. The place is really graceful and gracious, and there's so much, we just need to restore it. And to honor the house, we're this happened. So that's what we're doing. So anyway, Jane Roberts, Robert Butts, they would come up and down these stairs. And also everybody from the ESP group would come running up these stairs every Tuesday, and visitors who got to meet Seth. Now, if you went to the right, which we won't be doing, you would be going to the 3rd floor, but we don't want to do that right now. We want to close this door. And the 2nd floor is where Jane and Rob had their apartment, and actually they had one apartment for 15 years, and then they got a second apartment that they had for the four last years. It was more of an office space. But here's apartment 4. That was the second apartment they have. Notice how it was classy, magic marker. Yeah. But the apartment that's the most famous is right here. Here it is, apartment number 5, where Jane and Rob lived and channeled Seth for from 1963 to 1975. The most important things ever written and spoken happened in this room. This is the living room. Around here is one of the places that Jane sat in a rocker. Not like this at all, but we put a rocker here. Jane would sit in her favorite Kennedy rocker, and then Seth would come through and she would channel. Rob sat kind of around here. That's how the routine happened over the years, that she would be here and he would be here. But they channeled in every room of the house. They had so many psychic and spiritual experiences here that are documented so well in the books. When we rented the apartment, this whole ceiling had a big board over it because the upstairs neighbors left the water running and it flooded and crashed, and so they put a board to cover it. So this wonderful guy we know, Greg, made it look like a ceiling there. We painted everything. It was in bad shape. And you walk in and it looks like, oh, this is nice. And what we came into was such a wreck. There were wasp nests. There was a vent there that was full of wasp nests. Wasp nests. It was like oatmeal soft here. So he had to scrape and putty, and then we painted it a much nicer color and everything. It was originally hardwood floors, but it looks like they got messed up and they put linoleum over them. So we'll do something to kind of fix that up a little bit. Probably put better linoleum over. This famous photo of Jane sitting at her typewriter on her desk, and then the view behind her of that house through this window, original window, a little fireplace, the roof, the window behind the fireplace. She was sitting right here. And I look at that picture, and I look at that, and I just go, this is where it was. This is how she saw the world while she was typing her books and helping to gather the manuscripts that Seth, all of those papers were laid out right over here in her mind as she looked out at the river and the trees and the mountains and the busy traffic. So right here. This heater, there's a photo of her sitting on the heater. This is all original, and it's hot right now. So this heater's and the cover is almost as old as the house probably. See that little crack? This is a very sentimental window. This whole window was falling apart. Look at that. This was the repair job they had to do to get the original glass and window. When we first saw the place, this was stuffed with dirty men's socks because it was so cracked. Cold air was coming in the winter. The guys who lived here stuffed socks in for self-preservation. And then we had this big work project to save this glass, this window, and it was dangerous. We were taking out broken glass, laying it on the floor, because this was the window that Jane and Rob and Seth looked out of. There's this beautiful story of Seth in the early sessions looking out one of these windows, and what he said about our reality and what he was trying to tell us was so beautiful. I get teary every time I think about just how he was saying, you have no idea how beautiful your world is, as it was looking out over a snowy night out this window or one of these windows. And we have the windows. But more than that, we have the words he spoke when he was trying to tell us how amazing reality is. So these are the windows to the world, and they're still here. Go on in, and we have a beautiful, beautiful sink. Now the thing with This bathroom was kind of famous in some of the writings for a lot of strange reasons, but this is the original bathroom from when it was built in the 1880s as a mansion. This is like original sink. This is like marble. This is not the original toilet. This is original marble, and it had seven spigots at the time. And it's marble, and it probably had a door on it, we figure, at the time. These beautiful windows. Again, they need a little bit of repair, but it's repair. It's not going to be replaced by vinyl or anything. There's 3 mirrors in this house that are original, 2 in the bathroom and 1 behind the door there. And it's original. When we pulled it off, we could see so many different kinds of paint and colors that every time it got repainted, it got more blotches on the back. But yeah, this Jane, Rob, Seth, they looked in that mirror. Same with this medicine cabinet here. So again, marble. Again, just trying to bring honor to the place. The floor and these, the walls here. Now the thing here, over here, all of that nice white tile was torn off, and this was totally chunky. This was just chunky, bumpy, yucky. And Greg just put a nice smooth wall on it. We painted it, the whole room purple. Again, just bringing color and life to it all. These things, these handles, again, original and really in solid. You know, Jane held those, you know. This, it's like a weird material. And again, it's been there all this time. But it's like these bars, original. It's funny how little things like that, you just touch them and you go, she touched this. Oh my God. Could walk through the bedroom. Now the funny thing about the bed. Okay, Seth said we should have our beds pointed towards the north, the head towards the north. And that was one of the early recommendations he gave. But lo and behold, Jane and Rob didn't want to do that because it didn't work out with the bed. So we're doing what Seth said, point the head towards the bed. But other people have said, well, it's not original. You need to point the head where Jane and Rob said. I was like, no, we're going to point it north. Here it is. That's north. This is the head. The one little window that Jane said she wanted to look out of, which is why they couldn't point it towards the north. Now, why don't you go on out there and see Rob's art studio. It feels amazing out here. It's not complete. We have more work to do. We had to tear stuff out that was in bad shape. We had 2 huge leaks, one in this room and one in the bedroom, that were like, bring out the buckets when it rains. Those were fixed. These windows used to wrap all the way around. We want to fix that again. Look at the views. I mean, it's stunning out here. You're in a wonderful fishbowl. And this is where Rob did his art. This is where Jane did her art. This is where Jane channeled sometimes too. I was in England, and I didn't know what I was going to be doing with my life. And I did a Ouija board with a friend, and we had a huge transmission of information. Long story short, as I was questioning it back and forth, kind of came to the realization I should come to Elmira. I have an aunt and cousins here, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to come to Elmira. And it said about finding my home base. I was like, okay. So I did. I don't always recommend doing what a Ouija board says, but it didn't really tell me what to do. It was just in the questioning that I came like, yeah, I'm going to go to Elmira and visit my aunt. I didn't really think about the Seth House. Go to see my aunt. First night I sleep in her guest room. I wake up the next morning, and I hear this voice talking to me as I'm waking up. And it said, go to the Water Street house. There may be a place for you there. So I woke up with a start there. So, oh, okay, I guess I'll do that. I asked my aunt, can we go to that house, the Water Street Seth House today? And she's, oh, sure, honey. Now, the thing is, because I had an aunt here, it did come out to visit Elmira a few times before that, and when I did, I'd asked to be brought by this house because it was the Seth House. They humored me, they let me see it. And I did what a lot of people have done, which is you just look at the house from the outside, and you just look, and then, okay, I'm glad I saw it, let's go. And there was no going inside or anything like that. You just saw the outside and wondered, why was it such a mess? But it was like, okay, I saw the Seth House, and I did see it a few times before. So, but that day, go to the Water Street house. There may be a place for you there. So my aunt drives me by. Lo and behold, there's a apartment for rent sign out front, and the next day I wrote a check to the landlord and I had apartment 1A. And it was a wreck, it was a mess, it was so stinky I almost vomited. But it was the Seth House and I was moving in. And for months I fixed it. And all along just overwhelmed with the idea, this is the Seth House. I'd be walking around it, going the halls and just going, this is where it happened. Come on over. Welcome home. This is everybody's place. If you love Seth, this is your place. Welcome home. Come see it. Feel it.